Hello everybody and welcome back to Firewatch. We are now on day 77 and we ended things off on a very creepy note. We had a crazy day yesterday. Henry got attacked and him and Delilah discovered that somebody is listening in to all of their conversations. And in order to advance on in the day today, Delilah has asked us to have a closer look at our Flora of the Shoshone poster, which we will do in just a minute. But I'm going to read Henry's typewritten entry, which will give us a pretty good synopsis of what happened yesterday. What the fuck difference a day makes? Holy hell. I don't even know where to begin. It's late, past midnight, so I'm going to write down everything that happened today as fast as I can. I went down to the lake and found a clipboard and walkie-talkie, and I don't know how to describe this. I don't know what to say other than someone is listening to Delilah and I. I know that sounds crazy, but someone is out here listening to us and attacked me. They're taking notes about our conversations. We think there might be some sort of study going on, like maybe we were given these jobs not just to look for fires, but to be part of a behavioral study or something. Fuck. I know this all sounds insane. It is insane. I don't know how to explain any of it. Delilah definitely heard someone on our walkie-talkies too. It wasn't just me. I'm rambling here. She heard someone too. I tried calling her a couple times tonight, but we don't want to talk on these anymore. I don't know what we're going to do. So yeah, very scary to think that they're out here pretty much alone in the wilderness and someone is spying on them. Someone has been in Henry's tower. Someone has listened to all of our conversations. It's just very creepy to think about. So we need to figure out what we're going to do about that. So let's go ahead and get some further instruction from Delilah here.
Okay, yeah, it's up. Why are you acting like this?
Great. Just wonderful. Do you see the tree in the top row, second from the left?
Sure. It's the.
No. You don't need to tell me. Just, internalize it. It's a great tree. And there's an area called, that tree's name in your sector that maybe you should take a midday hike to. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, okay. Maybe I should go for a hike.
Nothing like an afternoon in the Rockies, I tell ya. Radio me the moment you get there.
Alright, so Delilah is very clearly up to something here. And if we have a look at our map, the Cottonwood Creek area is actually very close to where we were yesterday. You can see that we'll basically need to backtrack through where we had gone yesterday over the Ruby River, and then when we get to the meadow, we just need to head in the opposite direction. While Henry and Delilah were having their conversation in the meadow yesterday at day's end, I did walk far enough that I got the big tree landmark on our map, and so that is where we need to go. A little bit of a hike, but not too long. You can see as soon as you get outside as well that the big fire is causing a lot of smoke. It looks like it's pretty well contained though, which is a good thing. I'm not seeing any actual flames, just smoke. Alrighty, so need to find the fence line, which is just a little bit behind our tower. And we're gonna keep following this path to go across Ruby River. And today is going to also be very, very long. I should add, this is probably our longest day that we have to play in the entire game. So I may or may not actually split this day up into 2 parts, because I also have some additional exploring that I'm going to do today, just for some additional achievements. Show everything off in one playthrough rather than telling people just to explore in free roam, which is another option that you do have. Once we cross the Ruby River and we're back into the meadow, we're basically just going to follow our compass west. So last time, yesterday, we headed east. This time we're going to head west. And we will be over by Cottonwood Creek. So Delilah has told us basically to radio her when we get here, but that's not necessary. I'll just tell you what she will say to you. She'll just ask you to look for the cache box in the area, which will very soon become apparent as it sticks out like a sore thumb. And it's kind of in the middle island, I guess you could call it, in between the 2 parts of the creek here.
There's a cash box here.
Yes, there is, but I changed the code and left you something in it.
Really?
It's 5678.
Are you kidding me?
I was in a rush.
Alright, Delilah, let's see what's in your box of goodies. Copy some map information to begin with, always a good thing to start with. And then you can see that she has left us a brand new radio, very sneaky.
I've got it now.
Good. I spent all day getting you that radio. I hiked to a cache box, lied to a ranger, lied to another ranger, and hopefully you are now holding a clean, untapped radio.
Hopefully.
Holy fuck, Henry, we have to get into that site.
Are you okay?
I don't know, Henry.
People have been listening to us all summer. How is this actually happening?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Me too.
None of it makes any sense.
Am I just making all of this up? I mean, the eavesdropping, the spying, is this... Fuck, is any of this real?
What? Are you serious?
Maybe I'm just losing my mind.
What?
Like Julia. And maybe it's happening to me, and I'm imagining that I have a boss out here and that we're being spied on.
Henry.
Maybe there was something in the water, or our condo was underneath some power lines, and you, Delilah, you're not real.
Henry, think about her. If what happened to her were happening to you, you wouldn't even be able to realize it.
Okay.
Henry, sweetie, I am real and this is happening. I'm as real as the sky is blue. Take a second and then call me back. I'm on your side.
Yep, there are many ways that conversation can go depending on what options you choose. I kind of chose to be a little bit paranoid there.
I just thought of something not great.
But if I was Henry, I would be a little bit paranoid too, to be honest.
What is it?
I filed a report that said that neither of us ever talked to or saw those girls, the ones that went missing a few weeks back.
Okay, but why would you do that? That's sort of part of your job, is to report these things.
What? Why would you do that? I told you to say the minimum and just keep it vague.
I know, and I didn't. I just didn't want to be hassled.
And now Someone probably has a transcript of that entire conversation.
And I've filed a report that's a blatant lie.
Oh, and those girls are still missing.
Yep.
Well, that's just fantastic, Delilah. Sometimes she doesn't make the best choices. I mean, we're all human. I'm not saying all of us make good choices all of the time, but considering that she's had like 10 plus years of service with the parks and she should know better, I just don't know sometimes why she makes the decisions that she does. I've walked back to the tower, and basically our objective for the day is to go back to Wapiti Meadow, and if you're wanting to do that, you just head back to the Jonesy Lake route and go from there. It's probably the quickest way to do it, which would have us follow this path, but I'm going to do a little bit of detouring today. And instead, I'm going to take the path that leads us through the cave that we took in the earlier days. I don't even remember what day that was. Maybe our second day? Maybe even our first day. It's been a while. I don't even think I've gone through this cave at all since our first time finding it. I did actually anticipate going through this cave a little bit more often, but where I'm headed is back towards our power lines that we investigated back in day 2. And this is optional, what I'm doing right now, so this is just something to show off a couple of additional things, grab some optional achievements. And this can also be done on later days, but I think this is probably just the best day to do this. So we're going to go through the cave, and we're going to hop over the log and go through the brush. If we recall... Ooh. That was definitely an animal of some sort.
I just heard something.
What is it?
I don't know. It was goddamn terrifying, though.
Well, it could be an elk, or it could be someone trying to get you to radio about a loud noise so they know where you are.
Great, Delilah, thanks. You're really helping.
Fuck.
How about you don't do that again?
What was the point of changing radios and going through all that effort if you're not confident that it worked and you're not going to make me feel better? I also have questions about how it is that Delilah got over to my sector in order to get me another radio. Because talking to her earlier, it kind of sounded like there wasn't really a way for her to get over here. So once you reach the sign for the Beartooth Point and Thoroughfare direction markers, you're going to want to stop. And we're going to basically turn our bodies right as we stand in front of the sign. And if we do that, we'll find ourselves near the old cabin that I pointed out the first time we came through here. And we weren't able to do anything about it before, but now we can actually open the door. And I find it interesting that you could open the door now, but you couldn't before. To me, it kind of adds to that feeling of paranoia of like, oh my god, could somebody have been in this cabin sitting here watching us the whole time, you know? This is also a fantastic, beautiful view. I do wonder if this cabin used to sort of be what the Forest Service used before they got like fancy lookout towers built. I don't know if they ever actually elaborate on what this place used to be. It's obviously burnt down and there's nobody here. But what you can do is you can come down into the basement and open up the old stove.
Oh, God.
And a pretty cute little raccoon will get upset that we disturbed his slumber and take off. That will give you an optional achievement, and hopefully also not rabies. So I wonder if somebody like fell asleep smoking cigarettes or something, because there's a lot of cigarettes in here and there's a burned bed. Or maybe it was burned before people came in here and started smoking. Like I said, nothing really to elaborate on here. You don't really know the story with this place. It's just another optional area that's, you know, added for flavor. But what makes me think it used to be somewhere where Firewatches would stay previous is that there is a very, very, very old cash box here, and it's a different color than some of the other ones that we found so far. There is also a note that I missed when I had kind of walked by this area earlier, and it's kind of easy to miss, so I don't blame myself too much for not noticing it earlier. But there is an old notepad stuck to the wall of this old outhouse. And if you go to read it, it's basically song lyrics. So that is an optional collectible. We're going to go back to the sign, and this time, facing the sign, we're going to turn left in the opposite direction, and we're going to follow our compass west. And this is going to lead us to a secret hidden area. It can be a little bit difficult to find. Basically, you're just going to keep following this direction until you find a gap in the brush. And you need your axe for this area, which is why it's not accessible until at least this day. And once you've done that, you will find a secret little area here. It'll be a lawn chair with some empty bottles of Fife's gin, alongside an old note and a cassette tape.
So I found notes between these two rangers, Ron and Dave. You know them?
Yeah. What do they have to do with anything?
Well, nothing, I don't think. I just found a cassette tape one of them left for the other.
Do you think it could be anything like the tape you have of us?
And I think it's just music.
Well, if it's the new Milli Vanilli, it could be just as incriminating.
I don't actually have a way to listen to that tape at the moment, but that tape is actually the song that is described in these lyrics. So it is actually a very, very nice song, and if I could figure out a way to perhaps play it on our final day or something like that, I will. So I'm gonna pick up the final note that Ron wrote for Dave. Debbie told me what happened at Cassie's, and I just wanted to say I'm real sorry. That's just, I don't know, fucked. Totally fucked. I wish I would have been there. I would have kicked the living shit out of every one of those ignorant hicks. Debbie was trying to explain to me why they'd kick your ass so good, and I just don't get it. Fucked. Anyway, man, I don't really know how to get a hold of you. I sent a note up to the hospital in Billings, but I'm not even sure you're still there. Deb and I are talking about heading up to Alaska in the spring, so I'm not sure I'll be out here again, so yeah, maybe you'll get this note in May. Also, dude, found this old song in a shitter near Hawk's Rest and thought I'd give it the Ron treatment for you. Dig it. Get better, amigo. Find me if you're ever in Sitka. Ron. I do feel bad actually that I picked up some of these notes and then just kind of forgot to read them because there's a few notes that we've missed, but I think I've read most of the big important ones anyway that we've found. And that's kind of just the ending of the Ballad of Dave and Ron. And I think the implication there, of course, is unfortunately Dave got beat up because he's gay. And it doesn't sound like Ron really knew that the whole time that they were friends, but that's probably one of the reasons Dave came out here, because I don't imagine he was very accepted back in the 1980s. And unfortunately, Delilah is very quiet today, so we don't get her commentary on it, but she will confirm that Ron did move to Alaska and that she never really knew what happened to Dave. So I don't actually know if he had a chance to see the nice gesture that Ron did for him or not. But that's just a little optional thing wrapped up. You do get an achievement for picking up that videotape. Or the cassette, rather. I'm getting a little ahead of myself in technology. The cassette tape. And now we're going to head over to Wapiti Meadow. And it's going to be a nice, quiet little walk through Thunder Canyon. So I think I'm actually going to play the song that was on that cassette tape as I walk there. So please enjoy. It's a very nice little tune.
I'm headed off to Ocean Shawnee, where the birds and the bees won't know me. Man and war won't exist no more, and there ain't no gals to keep no score. I'm taking off for the woods, to a place where there ain't no shirts. Don't need no books or ponds or the ponderosas. Don't need no lady or Mary the Mariposas. Can't waste no time in getting there. I'll do 80 down 80 without a prayer. Don't need no gal, I'll spruce up for the spruces. Don't need no pal, I'll change my mood up for the mooses. Headed off to Ocean Shawnee, where the birds and the bees won't know me. Men and war won't exist no more, and there ain't no gals to keep no score. And if you're wondering where's my aspen, it's been corroding amongst the aspens. Don't need no grass, I'll get altered among the alders. Don't need no mass, I'll grovel before the boulders. I'm headed off to Ocean Shawnee, where the birds and the bees won't know me. Men and war won't exist no more, and there ain't no gals to keep no score. I'm headed off to Ocean Shawnee, where the elk and the owls won't know me, where there ain't no judges to whom I gotta plead, 'cause I can be me in Ocean Shawnee.
So now we have our axe, and we should be able to bust on out into the meadow. All right. So first things first, when you come to this little, I don't really know what you would call this thing that says Wapiti on it, open the lid up, and Henry will get stung by a bee, which gives you another optional achievement. You can report that to Delilah if you'd like. And in here we have Another piece of paper for the personnel. If you're trying to reach Dr. Simmons, he is on site from August 15th until October 15th. University-owned equipment is the responsibility of Dr. Johnson. Government-owned equipment is under the purview of Cat Ferdinand. Remember, this is a controlled area, and any issues, malfunctions, or violations should be reported immediately. Alright, it's starting to get dark now. We've got a little bit of ominous music. Well, as we walk into the clearing, the first thing you'll notice is a monitoring tower.
Okay, I'm at the site. I don't see anybody around.
Lucky for us.
Yeah, lucky for us. Dee, there is some serious comms equipment out here, wireless stuff.
What do you mean?
I'm talking a big 20-foot tall transmission tower. I mean, they could probably listen to whoever the hell they want. They're nestled down in this valley, which makes it impossible for you or any lookout to see them.
We're going to have a lot of dialogue with Delilah now. She's been very quiet. She's kind of lost in thought. She's got a lot that's going on, but we can report on pretty much everything that we're about to see here.
Now they're doing something with the soil out here too. It's all gridded off.
Who knows what else they're up to?
I mean, there's all sorts of contraptions and shit out here.
Like what?
Dishes and stuff on metal legs. There are wires all over the place. I don't know. I'm not really up on high tech. This equipment is not stuff from the hardware store.
Obviously not, Henry. We've been able to see through the notes that this is a government facility. This was the letter that was left at the place where the firefighters were. So, I mean, it sounds like it's a pretty top organized sort of research site. So if you have a little bit of background information, it's not like someone wasn't aware that this site is out here. It just seems odd to me, obviously, that Delilah was not made aware of it. But I guess that's the government, you know, top secret, hush hush. It's pretty eerie and weird that there's nobody around, though, which might be for the better with us poking around. I anticipate that there's going to be a lot of dialogue coming up, especially when we go inside that tent. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to want to talk to Delilah about. So I'm going to take a picture here with my evidence-taking camera, and I think that's going to end things off here. And next time we will continue on in this day, we will actually go into that tent and see what else we can discover, if there's any sort of clues as to who or what may be listening in on us. Thank you all so very much for watching, and hopefully you will join me next time.